Just trying to work through these technical problems. I just sent you a login. Will open in a separate window. What the hell is that?
Check, check.
Yeah, check. Testing 1, 2.
You have me still on your phone, right?
Yeah, I can hear you on my phone, but not through my headset.
Okay, that's an echo. Okay. Did you change anything on your end?
I did not change anything. My headphones are still plugged in. Boy, that'd be stupid if they weren't plugged in. I don't have speakers on my computer.
If you've ever taken a beer to a job interview, you might be a redneck.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. If you listen to this podcast backwards, well, it won't make any sense at all. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I be Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. We're happy that you're here.
We are.
This is a unique episode in that I am in Studio A and Mike is in Studio B. I was ill. I'm still not completely recovered, so I'm not going to put Mike at risk, and I'm going to be the nice friend, and we're recording remotely.
COVID, I thought we fixed that 4 years ago. How are you still getting it?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, Jacob came home. He had it. Libby tested positive. I went to the hospital. I had my annual physical.
Oh,
right. And,
whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I went for a physical examination.
Did you pass?
And so I did. They even drew blood, and I am such a scaredy cat of needles. They drew blood out of my hand instead of out of my arm.
Okay.
Because I have this irrational fear, Mike, that the needle is going to break off in my arm.
Okay.
It's true. I mean, I can't. Okay. When in the movie Misery, where she broke his ankles, she put the wooden log and then she broke with the sledgehammer.
Hobbled him. Yeah.
Yes, that didn't bother me as much as when she gave him the shot. Go ahead.
I just want to tell you something, and I'm sorry, folks, because of Darin's diseased state, we are remote.
That's right.
The normal Irritable Dad Syndrome chemistry and excitement and electricity that you come here for is a little off because we're in different places, but we're professionals.
Yes.
You shouldn't notice a thing unless a dumbass points it out like me. I have never had a fear that a needle would pop off in me, but I do have a fear when they give me a shot in the arm that they're going to go too far and it's going to stick in my bone.
No! God, please, no! No!
And then they're going to have to wrench it out.
Yes.
And I know that's irrational.
That makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
I also have friends. I had a buddy who went to the hospital. His arm was black and blue because they couldn't find a vein. And they kept trying and trying and trying. And he's like, oh my God. And I'm like, stop it. Shut up. Yeah. Quit talking about that. Yeah. So my wife is a nurse. And when we were dating, she had not graduated nursing school yet.
Yeah.
And we would go to a movie and she would hold my hand. And then she would, like, with her fingers, start rubbing her fingers across my veins and start feeling and plumping up my veins.
Hello.
I'm like, stop that. And she says, you have great veins.
I'm like, wait until the third date before you start.
I know, right before you start rubbing me in places, right? Well, I mean, Anyway, so she wouldn't stop playing with my veins. And she's like, you got great veins. You got to let me stick you. I'm like, no. What? I'm not going to let you do that. And she says, I'm really good at it, though. And she had never done it.
Silence of the Lambs statement is that?
She lied to me, Mike. My wife, my then girlfriend, now wife, lied to me. She kept telling me that she was so good at drawing blood. I mean, she is good at drawing blood now, but she hadn't done it then.
Yeah. Lied
to me. And I married her.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens.
Anyway, how you been?
All right. I had a bit of the poison ivy.
Yeah.
Like an idiot. See, I have this thing, and I don't know if it's hereditary or if it's just something that I do, but I make the same mistakes over and over. And usually when you finish making a mistake, you look at what happened, the actions that happened.
Hey, what happened?
Exactly. You recognize the negative, and then you try to find the root cause. What led to this?
Right.
So that I don't do that again. That part of me is broken.
Okay.
So the last time I got poison ivy, like a moron, let it go on for 2 or 3 days until it had spread to some horrifying places.
Right.
And I went to an urgent care, freaked out, and they gave me a shot and one of those prednisone packs. And then like within 2 days, it's like I'd never even seen a poison ivy plant. It was amazing.
Steroids are amazing.
Yeah. Now the lesson that I should have learned in that was, hey, don't go touching the green things in your yard that aren't grass. See,
Right.
I used to be a Boy Scout back in the day. And they always said 3 shiny leaves together. The shiny is the oil that gets on you and makes you all itchy and stuff.
That's right.
Stay away from those. But if you go on the interwebs right now, and I challenge our listeners, even if you're driving, go on the internet, and I'm kidding, pull over,
Yes.
go on the internet and look up poison ivy. And there are multiple versions of poison ivy out there. Things that you wouldn't think are poison ivy that are. It comes in vines. It comes in vines with little feelers, which is what we had. There are berries. I never knew that.
And you don't eat those.
You don't. Not if you want to live.
No. Right.
So I had a thing where I just started doing yard work. And I was like, I get rid of this thing. And I look over, oh, there's the thing that needs to be dealt with. Oh, here's the thing. And before I know it, I'm out there for 2 or 3 hours. And then it was the Saturday before Father's Day. Saturday night, I feel a little itchy. Sunday morning, I'm breaking out, and we go to Kings Island, which is what you do.
Sure.
Yeah. And then by Sunday night, I was miserable. Monday, I'm in horrifying condition. Tuesday, I finally went to the doctor, and he's like, really? It was just last year. You just did this last year. You didn't learn. He's like, it's probably the same plants that you touched last year. I've learned new things about poison ivy is that the oil, it can spread. I learned how far it can spread. And I don't want to go as far as to say that I got poison ivy on my hoo-ha, but it got very close. And I was concerned.
Well, your exact quote was, I got it on my Jimmy.
Yeah, and then I felt
So
bad.
now, is it your Jimmy or your hoo-ha?
I
Because
felt
those are
bad.
2 completely different things.
I felt bad because we know people named Jimmy, and I don't want them to, like, after the show, be like, you're saying that, what are you saying about me?
Right.
I'm not saying that about anybody. I don't know anyone named hoo-ha. So
I don't either. But
Yeah.
I'm willing to meet them, yeah.
I'm not opposed to that. Here's what I'm saying, kids. If you touch weird things, scrub your hands. And don't touch any other things on your body.
Well, I use work gloves when I pull weeds. Yeah.
That's the thinking man's approach.
Well, and I also have Grandpa's weed puller, which is
you
badass.
talked. You
I
said
know.
the little thing.
I know. I'm going to keep talking about it until they become a sponsor of this podcast.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest tools ever invented.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
Hey, you want to touch my beats?
I want to throw a shout out to fan of the show, longtime listener of the show, Andrew Jackson Gibbons. He is our attorney, and he has been with us since episode 1. I went to college with him at ETSU. And so here's the thing. Andrew loves our show, and anytime he finds a funny YouTube link or a meme or something that is it meme or meme? I'm going to call it a meme. Anytime he
I'm going to
comes
say
up with,
meme from now
with,
on.
with a GIF or a GIF,
It's a gift.
he will pass it along our way.
Yes.
So over the past couple of years, I have told many stories about people who can't get my name right. They call me Darwin and Darfin, Dwayne, Daryl, Damon, Damien, Danny. And so he sent us this great little cartoon of Daffy Duck.
Yeah.
Okay. And Daffy Duck is at a gift shop, and he's looking at all the name things, like the stickers or the little license plates.
Uh-huh.
And here's the audio from it.
No Daffy? You have 5 Darvins and no Daffy? Darvin? I mean, what, did someone just match Darin and Marvin together and think that that's a clever name? Well, it's not. It's a stupid name. Darvin is the world's stupidest name.
So that was hilarious. And the most hilarious thing about this, when he says, Darvin, seriously? It's like someone mixed Darin and Marvin together. My dad's name is Marvin. And I don't know how he found it, where he got it, but I absolutely loved it. And so, Andrew, thank you for sending me that. That was hysterical.
Yeah.
And your name, Mike, so you never get your name screwed up. You never, I'm sure every time you go to a gift shop, though, do you ever not find Mike, like a magnet or a license plate or
Mike.
a sticker?
Well, a lot of times Mike is gone because there's a lot of people named Mike. Mike's a very popular name.
It is. My middle name is Michael.
Yeah. Andrew's name is Michael. There's Michael Jordan.
Michael Landon.
Michael Fassbender.
Mm-hmm. David Letterman's middle name is Michael.
Okay. There's Mikhail Gorbachev.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Close. There's Mickey
he's
Mouse.
He's always looking. That's a Mickey. Yeah, that's not a Michael.
Close to Mike. There's Michelle is the female version of Mike.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Michelles.
Yeah. Okay. Libby and Jacob were out a couple weeks ago, and they're running some errands, and they were running late, so they ran through a Burger King, BK as the kids call it.
Yeah.
And the guy is handing them their food, and he's covered in tats. Okay, and I don't have a problem with people who have tats.
That's tattoos for the boomers out there.
For the boom, I have no problem with someone who has tattoos.
The Devil's Sketchbook.
On this guy's hand, on his knuckles, he has on the pinky D. Okay, and then on his ring finger, this is on his right hand. Mm-hmm. On his pinky finger is a D. His ring finger is an E. On his middle finger on the right hand is an A. And then on his trigger finger or his pointy finger is a T. Deet.
Okay.
I'm like, she said that she couldn't see if there was an H on his thumb.
Boy.
But you certainly couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So the dude's trying to spell death on his knuckles, but it just comes off as Deet.
That could be his last name. His last name could be Deet.
You think his last name is Deet? Really?
No, I think he can't spell.
Yeah.
Or there's an H. Or that's something that I would do. I'd make a critical letter on the wrong finger. Yeah.
Well, it just reminds me of my favorite joke that my friend Stephen Hubbard wrote. You know, don't get tattoos on your knuckles, especially ones that say coal and slaw.
Yeah.
But Deet?
Deet.
That's hysterical.
Like,
Deet.
What's your deets? Which throw your digits at me?
Yo, what's your deets? Jimmy?
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Extra Salt Shaker. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and my wife and I love having company over for dinner. But there's always that one guest who's always asking for the salt. And that's why there's the new Extra Salt Shaker. When you have the Extra Salt Shaker, you can eat your meal and have fun conversation without worrying if the other guests have enough flavor on their food. Also, people will think you're loaded. On the way home, they'll say, "Did you notice that they had an Extra Salt Shaker?" The Extra Salt Shaker, available where salt shakers are sold. Now, back to the show.
When was the last time I had a Just Stop?
It's been eons.
It's been a couple of months.
Yeah.
So I've got a new one.
Okay.
I do. This involves my favorite pizza place. And so since it's my favorite pizza place, I'm not going to mention them by name. I hate to say it because they're my absolute favorite pizza place.
Yeah.
But they can't cut their pizza slices evenly.
Oh, that pisses me right off. It's so easy to do that.
You go
make a cross, right?
And then you
X, and then you make an X.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you're a psychopath, then you go in between those. But you really only do that when you have company over and you want to give them a really small piece to exert dominance. But
it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to cut a pizza into 8 even slices.
Mm-hmm.
So we brought it home a week or so ago. And my God, there was this gargantuan sized piece, and then this little teeny one next to it. Got to be less than a third the size. I mean, I'm not going to get out my what's it called? My protractor and my ruler. Yeah. And measure them and make sure that they're exactly
tape measure.
Exactly.
Mike, why did you have a tape measure right there next to the studio
just
camera?
For this story.
Yeah.
But when they're that much, so this happened, and then it happened another time, then it happened another time, and it happened like 5 or 6 times, and I didn't want to bitch about it because they're my favorite.
No.
They're my favorite pizza place. My name is on the wall when you walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Cox is on the wall there at the place. And this was the place where, they had a new person one time. I go up there, and the new person says, name for the order. Mm-hmm. And the dude looks at her and goes, "That's Mr. Cox." Like, how dare you? So go up to the manager.
How dare you?
I know. I go up to the manager and said, I hate to complain, but your guys here, they don't know how to cut pizza. And he goes, oh, that was me. Oh, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And another thing that I want people to just stop, or this is really doesn't even fall into the category, or maybe it does. Let me ask you something. When did they stop putting spare tires in the back of cars?
They haven't done that in a while. I mean,
Why?
they have those little tires, but back in the 70s,
Uh-huh.
you got a full-blown
Right.
grade A tire. Because
yeah.
they left I mean, you remember the roads back in the 70s. There were like bear traps
Yes.
and grenades all over the highways.
Barbed wire.
Yeah.
All the time.
Everything.
Yeah. Tree branches completely in the
cages,
road. You get out and then you get abducted.
Yeah. And
Left
so
for dead.
you needed a full official tire. And then
Mhm.
sometime in the late 80s, early 90s, they started making that little tire that has the warnings.
It looks like it goes on a Hot Wheels car.
Yeah. And it says things like don't drive for more than 15 feet. Don't go faster than 3 miles an hour. That nobody.
15 feet.
Yeah. If you get a flat tire within 15 feet of a gas station, you're fine.
You're totally fine.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I think they've just quit putting those in there. I don't think we have one in the new car. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think we do.
I once drove on a spare for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, I've had somebody drive with a spare passing me going 80 on the highway. I think now if you get a flat, you just get out and you just walk away.
Just
start a new life.
You do like Walter White, and you open up the gas cap, and then you light the car on fire and you just walk away.
Just put a rag in there, light it, and walk.
Get all your out of the car and then just leave it.
And if you're lucky, it makes a really cool fireball in the background as you're walking away.
In slow motion.
Oh yeah. Just
but
enough
no, it
to
doesn't make
warm
any.
you.
I'm like, were people dying because they had a spare in their car? Like, were people lifting the spare of their car and then having so many back problems and suing the auto industry because these spare tires were too heavy to lift out of the trunk?
It's big tire.
Big tire?
It's big tire.
Well, you'd think if it was big tire, they would put more than one spare in the car.
That's what you would think, but there's some shadiness. Ever since Kia got into the mix, cars have just gone.
Kia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This was a few years ago. Libby, when Jacob was little, Libby had taken Jacob to a doctor appointment, and she had our van. And she calls me up and she says, I have a flat tire. Now, Libby knows how to change a flat, but she hadn't done it in a long time. And she had Jacob with her when he was a little thing. So I said, I'm on my way. I will come and help you change the flat.
Yeah.
So I get there and I take the tire off of the van. I proceed to open the van and look where the spare is to find out there's no spare.
What?
I should have did that first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But why would I do that? Because I had never seen a vehicle not have a spare tire in it.
And then what can you do? But can you just you can't you can't put anything in there. You can put like a pillow in the tire to get a little farther down the road. But
how am I going to get a pillow in the tire?
Just take the fluff out and stuff it in the little hole. It takes forever.
7 weeks later.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you my spare. Okay. So I get the spare out of my car. My spare has 5 holes.
Yeah.
Her spare has 4, so it's not going to fit. We had to get it towed. And I asked them, I said, why is there no spare in there? And they said, they don't do that no more.
They do on those Wranglers. You've seen those things rolling down the road. They got that tire just hanging right there on the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's right.
It's like, hey, look at my tire.
Hello.
I think when I get another car, that's going to be a selling point for me. It's like, do you have a spare tire?
Yeah.
Because now I think they want to try and sell you them tire patch kits.
You don't nobody got time for that.
No.
Just put on the little donut tire and drive on it for 2 or 3 years. You'll be fine.
Right.
Speaking of cars, Andrew just got a car.
I heard.
Yeah.
How's he liking his car?
Yeah, he digs it.
Good for him, by the way. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, he's excited. It is better than my car. Of course, I have the Kia. The price that we paid, I don't want to talk about the price that we paid. I will say that he took all of his money that he's been getting from the pizza place for 2 years. He doesn't spend anything. So he just took all that money, threw it over there, and then we got a loan for the remaining amount. So he's like a small car payment. So he's getting used to the car payment. situation. But when we saw the price of the car, I thought, man, they're going to have to tow this thing around to the front. And I don't know if this is, it didn't seem like enough for a car.
Like Fred Sanford owned it or something?
And then this really nice car pulled around, and the dealer got out of it and came in. And from the dealer's mouth, he said, I had to go double check the VIN number because I didn't think this was the same car. Normally, most normal people would be like, that's a dealer's trick. I had no idea.
Damn it, Larry, you're selling him that car. He's going to be fired. But since he told you that's the price, we're going to give you that price.
But we get into it to do the test drive. And as we're doing the test drive, it's just me cussing the whole time. I was like, you've got dual, like I can be one temperature and you're the other. And then Bess from the back is like, he's got heated seats. I'm like, heated seats?
I don't have heated seats.
The cruise control, the stuff, little camera, little screen with the camera, that stuff. Leather seats. They're electronic, like moving, like zzz, 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 zzz.
Nice.
Sunroof.
Does it have a cassette player?
CD.
Okay.
Connects to with the old Bluetooth. Connects to the stuff.
Does it have Venmo?
I don't think so. It also has a working engine.
Okay. Wipers.
Brakes that stop it. It does not have something that my car comes with and has come with, I think it's stock, is a death rattle from somewhere in the car that you can't pinpoint and no one can ever see. Now that we're talking about Andrew's car, I've developed a new problem in the Kia. I was driving to work the other day and I thought that I heard a small clown chasing me on a motorcycle. You remember the carnival, like the little guy on the motorcycle goes around a thing? And I looked in the review mirror because I don't want to change lanes and run over this guy.
Right.
And
God forbid you be chased by a small clown.
Yeah, followed me all the way to work. I get out, I look around, there's nobody there. I go to lunch, he's back, following me. I start looking at all the people around me, like, where's this engine noise coming from? Finally realized this morning, that's me. That's another new sound, a weird motory sound. It's learned how to throw motors like a ventriloquist, like
it throws its voice. Yes.
Throws the voice. It throws it Kia voice backwards about 15 feet along the road. We used to have a Honda that we bought new, and
I have a Honda.
Yeah. Over the years, it became, as all cars do.
Yeah.
And that Honda was famous for having bad mufflers. And we replaced a muffler like 2 or 3 times before we got rid of it. And that was the sound it made when we would take it in to get the muffler replaced. I told Bess asked me, are you going to take this in to get the muffler worked on? I'm like, no, this is just a new sound my car makes. This car is the Mad Max car of the family. I'm starting to be a little proud of that. I'm starting to, I got a badge of honor. Andrew's got a fancy new car. Bess has her fancy new car. I've got the one where if a piece of it falls off, I'm more than likely to never even look back and just keep going.
I don't remember if I told this story or not on the podcast, but when I bought my Honda, the kids were little and I took them with me to take a test drive, and we're driving around the thing and driving around in the car. And I checked to see if the wiper fluid worked, and the kids lost their mind because water shoots out of the car.
Yeah.
Like, do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again. It's like we were at freaking Kings Island.
Yeah.
And so I kept doing it and they were loving it. And then we pulled back into the parking lot at the dealership. I walked around, I opened up the trunk, and I lifted the thing where the spare tire was.
Yeah.
It's got a secret compartment. And then it's like we bought the car and brought it home, and they run out and like, Mom, the car shoots water. It shoots water out of the car.
Yeah.
And then it's got a secret compartment. And she's like, really? Yes, it does.
So it shares characteristics with a squirt gun and a little spy compartment on the squirt gun.
They basically thought I had a James Bond car.
Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Whoppers all-beef foot-long hot dogs. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I'm proud to be their spokesman. You see, Whoppers isn't just a brand of hot dog. It's a life-changing experience. You try a Whoppers all-beef foot-long hot dog one time, and I bet you all the money in my wallet that you'll come back for more. Even Shadow Stevens agrees.
Nothing tastes better at a cookout than a Whoppers all-beef foot-long hot dog.
Thanks, Shadow. Whompers are packed full of flavor with no fillers and no preservatives. And remember, get a ruler and measure it yourself. If your hot dog isn't a foot long, they'll refund your money, guaranteed. Now back to you guys in the studio.
So you said you had to just stop.
Yeah, and this one's a very personal one. I'm aiming it at my family.
Okay. Bess, stop.
Yes. Well, she taught this to the kids.
Oh,
so
God,
now
here
they
we
do
go.
it.
Okay.
So I take ice cream very seriously.
Yes, you do. Oh, boy, here we go.
We've had a couple of stories. Most recently, I posted the video of the story where we got into an ice cream sandwich fight because she allowed the kids to get into the ice cream sandwiches in the car on the way home.
How dare she?
From Kroger because they were, quote, starving.
Hungry. Yeah.
Hungry.
Yeah. Please.
And I remembered it actually caused another fight again when that aired because there were hamburger buns.
Did you tell the story without her permission?
No.
Because I get in trouble for telling stories without permission.
I'm kidding when I say it started a fight, but it did. It caused me to want to start a fight again.
Okay, for the record, I'm also kidding. I don't get in trouble, and my wife never gets upset with me for things I say on this podcast, ever.
I am going to say, though, there were hamburger buns. There were hamburger buns.
Right. They could have eaten the buns.
Yeah. That's water under the bridge. This new thing is, okay, ice cream has a certain je ne sais quoi. When it comes out of the freezer, it's, you ever opened up the new carton of ice cream?
Yes. And that little bit sticks to the top lid, and you scrape that off with your spoon.
Really?
I've never
done that. I've never done that. I like to go into the pristine top of the fresh.
That's the stalactite. Is it stalactite or stalagmite?
You've started a new.
It's ice cream that's stuck to the lid. You have to eat it, just like when you eat the pudding that's stuck to the lid.
Okay, or the heel of bread in the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I eat the heel.
Yeah, I do on dares and stuff. But anyway, here's the point.
Well, I use a heel, like I put a piece of bread in my burger mix when I make a burger because it helps soak in the juice, the hamburger juice. So if I have a heel off a loaf of bread, I will grind that up and put it into my burger mix with onion and all my seasonings. And you're looking at me like I'm nuts.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never made a burger for you, have I?
No.
I need to, because you will. If I make a burger for you, you're like, you know what, Darin, I'm going to stop giving you about everything.
That'll never happen. But I will enjoy the burger. Here's the point. Ice cream. Bess, since we began cohabitating, has always taken the ice cream, quart, pint, whatever it is, put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds to soften it up, and then scoops out the ice cream and then puts it back in the freezer. And the first time I saw it,
What happened?
I did what you're doing, and I dropped the spoon on the ground. And we had a major disagreement about that.
It makes it all icy.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. It makes it crunchy.
I'm not one to throw my degree around. We rarely talk about it.
You are an engineer.
I'm a chemical engineer.
Uh-huh.
And I took graduate classes. I have a master's degree in it. In one of my graduate courses, we spent multiple classes
talking about melting ice cream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talking about how
melting ice cream 101.
See, back in the day, I'm going to teach you're going to learn something. People talk about how they don't learn anything from our podcast. You're going to learn something now.
Oh, I think they do.
Back in the day, like 3000 BC, when they first made ice cream, or whenever it was, they were happy just to have ice cream.
Something I think Noah had it on the ark.
He had like one of those Mr. Freeze things.
He had 2 of each flavor.
Waka, waka, waka.
Yes. People were just excited to have something cold that doesn't taste like dirt or whatever. Because people ate dirt. That's how people lived. They ate dirt and berries that fell in dirt. And that's all they had. And that and mammoth foot.
And they liked it.
And they liked it. And then somebody along the way invented ice cream. Ice cream has come a long way. Now we're in the modern age of ice cream. It's 2024 up in here. We got VR. We got AI.
Right? Touch tone phones.
Touch screen sodas, everything. Now the key thing about ice cream is how it freezes. How you've got water molecules in there, you've got your cream things in there, all that stuff. And the matrix of the icy freezing in there, the ice cream, as it were, is what gives you the smoothness, the texture, the ice creaminess that you like. Right? That's where it's all there. It's all in how that freezes, how far apart they are, what the ingredients are in between them.
Yeah.
When you microwave it, because in the class, the professor said, you ever notice how the first scoops you get out of ice cream are always the best? You put it away, and it's still good a couple days later, but it's not quite as good as that first bit. It's because it melted just ever so slightly.
It's science.
It changed that. It's literally science.
Yes, science.
I just reenacted for you almost the entire thing that I said. The science is behind me on this one. And then when you take that and you put it in the microwave and you it up, it ruins it for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I have before, and I still do this from time to time, particularly with vanilla. I will scoop out about half the carton into a bowl. Because if you're not eating half the carton, what are you doing? Why are you even dirtying a bowl?
Yeah.
You get half the carton out into a sturdy...
what I call put up or shut up.
Yeah, a sturdy stone bowl. Get the plastic... Stone. Get this plastic Walmart shit out of here. Get yourself a stone bowl. I'll show you the stone bowls. My ice cream eating bowls next time you're over.
I'll show you some stone bowls.
And then you get a sturdy spoon, one with a real good arch to it, with a real good... It's got some gumption.
Yeah.
And you start stirring that, and you stir it until you get it into a soft serve.
Okay.
Right? Then you make a small mountain of that in the bowl by taking the spoon and going around the circumference of the ice cream and the bowl.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It is. It is a lot of work. You'll be sore when you're done. But
well, not me.
But you make a perfectly round little mountain of ice cream with a little whippy top on the top.
Oh.
Do you remember the story I told years ago?
I remember whippy top ice cream,
Yeah. The story I told years ago about eating ice cream in the basement when the fire alarm went off?
Yes.
I had just done all that to the ice cream. In the story I said, get the ice cream in the proper configuration. I didn't want to go into it then because I thought it would be boring and stupid. And it is. But it's important to this part of the story because I had done all that. And that is such an important aspect of ice cream and way of playing with the meltiness of it that you can do with your personal amount of ice cream. You can't do that with the whole gallon.
No.
Or whole quart of ice cream.
No, you cannot.
You are choosing everyone's ice cream for them against their will when you do that.
Which I think is against the constitutional rights.
It's at least in the preamble.
Okay.
So I said all this to Bess, and she stared at me with, "What have I married?" eyes. And I thought, and said, have I gone too far with the ice cream? And she said, and I quote, "You need to back off of the ice cream." But I know she doesn't like vanilla. So I buy vanilla, and I enjoy vanilla, and I love vanilla.
I love vanilla.
And my absolute favorite, if you haven't tried it, is Tillamook French vanilla. Holy Michael Landon.
Now,
it's
is the
good.
French vanilla the really white one, or is that the one that looks kind of almost yellowy? Okay.
Yeah. You know what they do? They put a custard.
Is it artisan or artesian? Artisan? I like the really, really white vanilla.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, I mean, we're talking about which vanilla do you like best. It's like, which kid do you like best? I love them all.
Right.
But the French vanilla.
I know which kid I like best.
I learned this. French vanilla, they take vanilla and they put egg in it. Did you know that? They make a custard in there.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually, for some reason, liked it better when I learned that. Charlie, you may recognize that is a kid of mine. I caught him putting the French vanilla in the microwave. You remember the old commercials, anti-drugs?
Monkey see, monkey do.
You remember the anti-drug commercials in the 80s? I learned it from watching you. I learned it from watching you?
Yeah.
I brought that up to Bess. Where did he learn this? Where did he learn this ability to destroy dreams?
Yeah.
From you.
Yeah.
The Dream Destroyer.
Yeah. So, but
And
you're
she
not
said,
allowed
I
to-
don't think it's that big of a deal. And I said, I don't know how you sleep at night.
It makes it crunchy, and then it gets kind of crystally when you refreeze it.
Yeah, and then you have like little miniature ice cubes in your ice cream. Or worse, non-ice creamy parts that are like weird and...
This is on a similar but not note. I came home a few weeks ago. Somebody had went to Wendy's
Okay.
and bought a Frosty and put the Frosty in the freezer. I'm like, one, who can't finish a Frosty?
Yeah.
And then two, why are you refreezing it? You are ruining the Frosty.
Yes.
Which once again proves our point that you and I have both made. We share the same brain.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad. See, this is one of those moments, I think, in every relationship where it's like, if we disagree on this, we're done.
Done.
And I think you and I agree on ice cream. I think if there's ever a dividing line where people like stand their ground, I think it's going to be about ice cream. And I think we're going to be on the same team there.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Team, do not refreeze ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Diff Liquid Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper. With its unique enzyme action, Diff dissolves old paste and cuts wallpaper removal time in half. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I can't prove this, but I heard that Taylor Swift was seen at her local hardware store buying 2 18-ounce containers of Diff. Until we find video or photos that this actually happened, we're just going to assume that it's true. So what are you waiting for? Go out there and buy some Diff, the only wallpaper stripper endorsed by music sensation Taylor Swift. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Do you ever just say to one of your kids, sure, we can do that? And then you go, hey, honey, do you mind if we do that?
All the time. I get in trouble so much.
Because a few weeks ago, you put on our Facebook platform, you reran the clip of you and I talking about the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
And the monster bent down and said, I need about $3.50.
One of the greatest episodes of our podcast, right?
Episode 71.
So we're talking about that, and I played that clip for Libby and Cameron.
I said, I ain't giving you no $3.50, you damn Loch Ness monster. Get your own damn money.
And Cameron says, Dad, can I watch that episode of South Park? I'm like, sure, you can watch that. And then Libby said, wait, huh? What?
Hey, what happened?
I was like, yeah, he can watch an episode. He's 16. Yeah. He can watch an episode of South Park. It'll be fine. Yeah. Boy, did I forget how much they talk about on South Park. I mean, over and over and over again. Boy, was that awkward.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, we watched Succubus. And
I don't know what that is.
That's the episode of the show. It's called Succubus because Chef was getting married and they suspected there was something wrong with Chef's girlfriend because she turned into a devil and said, baby, Lord, whatever. Horns came out and her eyes turned red and spiked out of her back and wings or whatever. And Chef refused to listen to the kids and he would not believe them that there was something wrong with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we've got to talk to him, and they go to his wedding. And I forgot that it takes like 12 minutes or it takes a long time before you even meet Chef's parents.
Yeah.
Lord, he was angry.
Damn right I was angry.
Not you, the monster. He was about to kick your ass.
Shut your mouth, woman.
So there's a lot, and I mean a lot of uncomfortableness with me, Libby, Cameron, and Mr. Garrison talking about. And then Eric Hartman just, son of a bitch, okay, because I knew there was language in it.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I didn't think that this episode had that much language in it, but it did. But yeah, and then we get to Chef's parents.
I said, what do you need, Chef, my boy? And he said, I need about $3.50.
$3.50?
Well, it was about that time I got suspicious. I said, Chef, why do you need $3.50? He said, my imaginary friend Google the dinosaur wants it.
And then it was just lovely. Yeah. We had so much fun watching because he had never seen all of Chef's parents talking about the Loch Ness Monster.
Well, it was about that time that I noticed this Girl Scout was about 8 stories tall and was a crustacean from the Plesiozoic era.
The Loch Ness Monster.
I said, damn it, monster, get off my lawn.
God, it was great. It was so great.
I had a very similar situation. So Charlie has been obsessed with wanting to watch a rated R movie.
Okay.
And we actually did all watch The Thing together.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it with Kurt Russell?
John Carpenter. Yeah, I have not.
Oh, it's really good. You should watch
I'll have to check it out. Okay.
And it holds up. It's one of those that's like, you could tell it was made like in the early 80s, but it does hold up. The 80s were weird, dude.
Really?
Because, there are some movies that are rated R in the 80s that would be totally like almost G. I've said it, I'll say it again. First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2 is PG, damn near G rated. If you watch it now. Like I watched it just a few months ago and I thought just about every Marvel movie is more brutal than this movie is.
Right.
I mean, the only difference is you actually see blood and Rambo, they drop a couple of F-bombs in there, but that's it. You know, The Thing is one of those. I told Bess, I saw The Thing when I was 6.
6?
Yeah, it was on HBO. I did the same thing to my parents. I wanted to watch a rated R movie, and then they let me watch it, and it was fine. So I was like, it's fine. It's practically a Muppet movie now. But so Andrew and I have been watching movies. Like we watched Goodfellas. We watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
The Life of Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in the Life of Hollywood.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, and Charlie came up. He wants to watch John Wick. I'm like, no, you're not watching John Wick. He has friends that have seen John Wick, and I'm like, well, that's their decision. I'm not letting you watch John Wick.
Right.
And he says, well, and I can't remember what thing he's allowed to do that the same friend isn't allowed to do. I think it's Walking Dead. Bess and him watch The Walking Dead.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, Walking Dead is brutal, and I could make the argument that there's a lot more brutal things in there than John Wick, but John Wick is R, and there's a lot more to it than just shooting. I mean, there's the dog dying, and there's a lot of stuff with his wife dying. Yeah, you don't need that. Be a kid. Don't put that in your head.
Right.
But it's been in the back of my mind, what is a rated R movie that he could watch? Because I remember The Thing worked, and then it hit me.
Porky's.
No, Gladiator.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's the same response that Bess had.
And not because of Gladiator, and I don't mind long movies, but Gladiator bored me to tears.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to check it out again, but...
I love it. The point is that I didn't run this by anyone. All the kids, everybody's in like the family room, and I said, Bess, I figured out a movie that Charlie can watch that's rated R. And he jumps up and says, and I quote, bet.
Yeah,
and Andrew
that's what the kids say, yeah.
And I said, Gladiator. And she was like, exactly what you said. Oh, God, no. That's brutal.
Yeah. And
then he said, you let me watch Walking Dead, which is what his response to everything is. Now that he's seen Walking Dead, he can see anything. You know, I want to watch Apocalypse Now. You're not allowed to watch that.
We watched Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. I want to, whatever. I watched Walking Dead, so I should be allowed to watch it. So Gladiator's out. So I'm back to square one. I don't know what to watch with him. Meanwhile, me and Andrew, I think we may go Kill Bill next. There's some iffy scenes, but I think.
Really?
I think that.
You think so?
Are you a fan of Irritable Dad Syndrome? Then show your support by wearing a stylish Irritable Dad Syndrome t-shirt. Our shirts are designed with 3 of our most famous, hilarious catchphrases. You need to learn more words? Put the thing on the thing? And in my defense, I thought it was funny. They come in a variety of sizes and colors. If you're a guy, women will see this shirt and instantly want to go out with you. So be the envy of all your friends and buy one today. Irritable Dad Syndrome t-shirts. Available now at irritabledadsyndrome.com.
Last week at work, I'm talking with my buddy Todd, and he's working on a promo. And I've mentioned to people before on this podcast that I do promos for Antenna TV. And he sends me a picture of remember the Ropers, Mr. and Mrs. Roper on Three's Company?
Yeah.
He sends me a picture of their bedroom, okay? And it's just all pink. I mean, pink bedspread, pink walls and wallpaper. Yeah. And it's just like super pink. And I started laughing. And it reminded me of a story that led into another story. When I worked at Channel 5, we were doing a commercial shoot, and we needed to do it in a house. And the company who I was working with on this commercial said, there's this lady, and she said that we could use her kitchen for this. We said, okay. So we drive to their house. It's a mansion. freaking just ginormous mansion, right? And we find out that her husband was vice president or president of this major company. They've got a ton of money. So we go into their house, and Mike, everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything was pink. They had a pink couch, pink carpet, pink designed wallpaper, pink lamps, pink coasters on the table. The kitchen had pink plates and pink glasses and pink curtains. I mean, and I'm wearing a pink shirt while I'm telling the story. Just pink, 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 everywhere pink. We're walking down. They said, "Here, would you like a tour of the house?" Sure. So we're walking through. There's pink bedspreads. There's every room has stuff pink. And she says, "Oh, and down here is my husband's office." And you're welcome to look on that. We go into his office, and I think this guy he had to have been military, like high rank military.
Okay.
And there's like a photo of him with George W. Bush and a photo of him with Ronald Reagan. And I think another one with Schwarzkopf.
Oh, wow.
And he's got this desk with this ginormous ashtray for cigar smoking because he's a man, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's really, really cool. He has a pool table that's pink. And I'm like, oh my God. And I thought I was like, really? And I couldn't possibly imagine him saying, sure, I'll agree to a pink pool table. I was like, you couldn't let the man have a regular colored pool table.
Isn't pink or derivations of red, isn't it a rage inducing color?
I don't know.
You're not supposed to make a room pink because you'll get.
I have never heard that.
Yeah.
I have never heard that at all. But anyway, so I'm telling my friend at work this story, and he said that, you know, back in the day when he was in college, he once stole a pink flamingo out of somebody's yard. And he thought that was the funniest thing that he ever did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, hell, I've done that. I stole a pink flamingo from somebody's yard.
Yeah.
I once stole this little goose out of somebody's yard. This fake goose that they had in their garden, their flower garden. I stole this goose, right? And this is before Libby and I started dating. And I put this goose right in front of my apartment.
Okay.
So we start dating, and she comes in. She's like, "Nice goose." I'm like, "Thank you." And then I said, "Yeah, you know, it's a funny story, whatever." So we've got this goose at the apartment. We lived there for, I can't remember how long we had that apartment. And we decided to move to Cincinnati. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to take the goose with me to Ohio. And she goes,
well, they're illegal here. Yeah.
She says, okay. So we left the goose in front of the apartment. Okay. We just left it there. Thought whoever moves here, they can keep the goose. They can throw it away, whatever. It'll be a funny story. So we moved to Ohio, and we're there for 5, 6, 7, 8 months or however long. And we come back to visit my mom and some friends, and we're driving around, and for fun, we said, let's go see the old apartment. We drive by the old apartment, and the goose is still there. And honest to God, Mike, it's kind of looking at us like, you abandoned me. It's got this look on its eyes like, how dare you?
Yeah.
And what did we do? We pulled up and we stole the goose again.
Did you stole the goose?
I stole a goose twice, brought it back, and then I kept it out on the patio of the apartment that we had when we lived in Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, where's the goose now?
I think
it got sick and died.
No, I think, I think wind blew it off the porch one time and it broke, and we ended up we took pity on it and threw it away.
Okay.
So, that's a great story. I'm glad I told it. Oh, well, guys, this is all the time we have for this week. Thank you so much for sticking with us through all the technical difficulties. Although, if you're listening to the audio podcast, you won't notice anything at all because
this sounds normal.
Darin, with my masterful editing wisdom, it'll just sound like a perfect podcast. So
go to our website, sign up for our email list. Because we have a list of people now that I send things to. It's fun. It's fun for me. I don't care if they like it or not. I like doing it.
It is fun. And go to irritabledadcenter.com and you can listen to all the episodes that we have. And if you become a patron, you can find all kinds of cool bonus stuff that we have on there.
Yeah, there's more stuff.
There is a ton of stuff on there. So we hope that you do that. Once again, I'll tell you, I hope we see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darin Cox production.
And his arm was black and blue. His arm was black and blue. God, Jesus. His arm was black and blue.
Because
his
arm was a black and blue.
Take 7.
ring
like
pop
the
things.
the ring pops, the popsicle rings. Yeah.
And so they just showed a picture of just the rings by themselves, and I remember thinking, those look very large. And then they showed a picture of them wearing them, and I thought, wow, this whole segment's going to be cut from the podcast because it's not funny. It is so stupid. Oh my God, you froze again. Oh no, there you are. Okay. The video people are getting their money's worth on this thing.
Oh yeah. God, I've got to edit a lot of coughing out of this.
Do I sound weird, like doubled up to you?
What do you mean doubled up?
I sound doubled up to me, but I don't know if it's because I'm hearing my voice coming out of my face and in the I think it's because I hear myself in the things headset.
Headphones, yeah. Yeah, hey, this is Darin. I'm over here in Studio A with the Irritable Dad Syndrome, getting ready to try to record.
Shut it.
Okay. I can see you.
You can hear me.
Not in my headphones, no.
My God, how did that happen?
Me don't know.
All right, I'm going to make you louder.
Okay, that's what she said.
The next time we have this issue, it's not going to be any better. I don't know what I did. I've just been randomly clicking.
How's it saying? That's the fun part about this. We don't know what the problem is, and we don't know how we fixed it.
Going for a nice lavender.
Oh, beautiful.
See that? See that brings out.
Yeah, there you
go. This is our color. This is. I mean, we go for the red.
That's a man color. I'm in pink. You're in lavender.
It's a lilac.
Yes. It's, like we could be on a damn Bed Bath & Beyond commercial. Nice.
Is that a monkey?
Yeah, it's a sock monkey.
Okay.
Got a problem?
No. I love socks. I love monkeys.
Well, then there you go.
Nothing better than putting those two together.
I need about 350.
350.
Monitor.
What was that? Check. Check 1 2. And I'm not hearing anything on my headphones, by the way. Well, are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay. So, yeah, we just experienced some technical difficulties. Mike's camera froze up and tried to fix it, and then we ended up having to restart the whole thing. So welcome back to Irritable Dad Syndrome. I'm Darin.
Welcome back. I'm Mike. Again.
Yeah. This is fun. This is so much fun.
This is the glamorous part of podcasting they never talk about.